Hey there, Photo Universe. Okay, it's been a while. We took a few months to kind of get to grips with the systems that we're using and the cameras that we're shooting, and there's been a few changes. Not really changes, but here we are. And what you see in front of you is a Billingham Hadley Pro. Very nice, high-quality bag. Highly recommended. I really enjoy them. They are very well made. But in this Billingham Hadley Pro, I now have my complete, I would call this my off-road system. And what I mean by that is, surprisingly, this is the system that I'm going to take if I'm going to go trail hiking, if I'm going to go photograph rivers and streams, and pretty much anything, any assignment that I would do that's going to be landscape, travel, that kind of stuff. Now, back in the day, I would have had, which I've recommended, the Low Pro All-Weather Rover 2. And in that backpack, I would have had the Canon 5D Mark II or a Nikon D700. For lenses, I would have had the 16 to 35, 2.8. I would have had probably a fisheye, and I definitely would have had the 70 to 200 2.8, probably the 24 to 70 2.8. That was weighing in at about 15 pounds. Okay, and that was my landscape kit. But I am now down to this Billingham bag, which is smaller. And it's light enough, the weight is the issue. It's light enough that I can carry this. I don't need a backpack. I can carry it with this strap diagonally across my body. And it's much faster to work out of. Now, what have I replaced that my standard landscape system with, that it all fits in a Billingham bag? Well, you all know I've been fooling around with Fuji. So let's get into it. This is the system, right here. Because these cameras are so lightweight and so small, I consider this camera a luxury. So I actually have two, where normally I would have one camera with me for that kind of work. In this situation, I now have the luxury that I can bring two cameras. So my go-to walking around snapshot, grab shot, more likely grab shot, document, you know, in other words, like I don't have to get set up to take a picture. I can actually walk around with this bag slung around me and this camera out in its entirety. This is the Fuji X100S, and I often do that, and I would do that. So I would operate with this camera out all the time and this bag closed, and then when I set up my tripod to do a landscape, then I would go to the other camera. And so where are we now? Well, the Fuji system's a new system and it's evolving. So right now, what has replaced my K5, oh, and that's the other thing. When I was back in the day, I was shooting the Nikons. More recently, you would see me out in the field with the K5, then the K5 and now the K3. Well, I hate to say it, but size-wise and because of the results I'm getting, and because I can just carry this little bag instead of a big backpack, I've kind of replaced the K3 and the Tamron lenses with the Fuji system. Now don't fear, I still have the K3s and the K5 2S and the K5 and the Tamron 7200, all those lenses, because the Fuji system hasn't 100% replaced it yet. But it's replaced it enough that when I'm traveling, this is what I'm taking with me. So what have I replaced the K3 with for this kit? Right now it's the XE2. I've been holding off because I was thinking of the Fuji system more in terms of the rangefinder X Pro 1, and I love the way the XE2, the speed of it, and the X100S, the speed of them. I've been kind of hanging out waiting for an X Pro 2 or X Pro 1S with the faster processing and the upgraded EVF, that kind of stuff. But now I'm thinking a little differently, and I'm thinking, because I'm actually thinking of this as my main system now, replacing my Pentax K3 in the field, I'm actually going to take a hard look and get in one of those XT1s as soon as they become available. And that's going to replace the XE2 in the bag. But for right now, it's the XE2, and it's a fine camera. I've got the Arca Swiss plate on the bottom. So my XE2 is right now functioning as my D700, 5D Mark III, K3 camera. And for my 24 to 72.8, I've got the 18 to 55 2.8 to f4. Now Fuji is coming out with a 16 to 55 2.8, and we got to watch the size and the weight, because the key to this is the reason that a lot of the pros, like in Nikon and Canon, the reason a lot of the pros shoot the 2.8 lenses, the 2.8 zooms, is because the smaller amateur quote unquote zooms tend not to be as sharp. Fuji doesn't do that. This 18 to 55 is tack sharp. It's professionally sharp. So having said that, I may or may not replace the 18 to 55 with the 16 to 55 2.8. I may, because if I get the XT1, it's weather sealed. But then it just gives you more options. That's good. I love the weight of this kit and the smallness of that lens, and it's professionally sharp. It gets the results I want. So there's that lens and my main camera. The excellent Fuji 55 to 200, and that is a 3548. Again, love the size and the weight on that for an APS-C lens. That's awesome. That gives me a lot of capability there. And over here we have the excellent Fuji 14mm 2.8. Fantastic lens. And another cool thing is I only need one lens hood, because the 18 to 55 lens hood is the same lens hood for the 14mm. So that's my off-road system right now. That's, you know, we're heading out on a trip here in a couple of weeks down to Utah, maybe Arches, Bryce, Canyonlands, that kind of stuff. This is all I'm bringing right here. Love the size and the weight. So, and the options, the capability to actually have a camera to document my personal photographs from the trip. Years ago, I never had that because my camera was always packed away and it was so cumbersome to get out and all that kind of stuff. And also, you know, you'd be surprised how much stuff I have in here. Neutral density filter and a polarizer. The one thing that's different about the Fuji is you got to bring a crap load of batteries with you, because the Fuji cameras don't get a 700 to 1,000 shots per battery. I'm really only getting about 300. So I carry about 3 batteries for each camera. 3 to 4 batteries is kind of required to have the shot capability. The batteries are small, so that's no big deal. And in here, I've got a cable release and the 2 Wasabi battery chargers, because they plug into the wall. And you know, so yeah, I've got everything I need to go travel in here. The one thing that I do have in the back also that I didn't really have to worry about with the Pentax is in the back pocket here. I've got the manuals to these cameras. The Fujis, every once in a while I come across something on a Fuji that's just on the Fujis. It's just like, well, how does that work? They're just not as intuitive as the Pentaxes really are. So, and the other thing about the Fujis that you have to watch out for is the video's not as good. So, but that in a nutshell is basically how I am traveling for 2014 as of April, end of April now, 2014, moving forward. To lenses to be replaced, the 16 to 55 Fuji 2.8 weather resistant is coming out, and the 50 to 140 2.8 weather resistant is coming out. Going to take a hard look at those lenses. Hopefully they're not too expensive, and hopefully they're not too big and heavy. I have a feeling they're going to be kind of heavy, but in comparison, I mean, I'm really getting spoiled with this lightweight stuff. It's really kind of cool. The real thing is, you've got micro 4/3 size cameras with APS-C K3 results, and that's not even true. You're getting 5D Mark III quality results. it's really image quality driven. And there's a lot of factors to that. Fuji knows how to process an image. Number one, the results are spectacular. The colors are beautiful. Even the black and white is stunning. JPEG out of camera. What a pleasure. And number two, the Fuji glass is excellent. And number three, it's that X-Trans sensor with no AA filter, which is, you know, that bumps it up to 5D Mark III levels of image quality. So that's where it's at for now. The beautiful part is I also have the Fuji prime lenses, but that's a whole different video and that's a whole different program. And that is not really ready for prime time, in the sense that those prime lenses are okay with an EVF only camera like an XT2, and they'll probably be okay with the XT1. I'll have to try it. But those prime lenses, the 2314, the 3514, the 5612, I'm really looking forward to putting those on an X Pro 1S or X Pro 2 to get that Leica kind of feel out of it. The optical viewfinder and those prime lenses are a match made in heaven. So that's where we're at, April 2014, and I got a few other videos to make. I'm looking forward to it. So that's Ed with Photo Universe, and have a great one. Getting back to the tabletop style here. All right, Photo Universe, have a great one. We'll talk to you later. Bye.